of sampling. You have an original shape here, but we're only allowed to take little snapshots. So you imagine with these, you don't actually see these bins. What you see are little red dots in the middle of each of these time slices. So it's a little difficult to see here, but I'm going to actually show it to you. By changing the number of samples per second, you can change how well you reproduce the original signal. And if you don't take enough of them, you're going to see a very choppy shape here. So that is the let's do a little watching of things here. I've already produced data for you guys. Oops, I got you guys. Oh, you probably do have this, which is too bad, because I wanted to create this data, these plots together. So I just have to hope you'll be honest and you'll delete those two graphs. And we'll get back to what this is in a minute. So now I need yeah, here it is. Alright, so this, and I want to have camera windows so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's just alter this a little bit. I think I can. No, alright, I know what to do. Alright, so let's delete the runs. Yep. And, yeah, there we go. And let's get rid of this thing. And, let's see. And I'm going to have to take off my sweater to make this work better. Okay. And let's see. Alright, we're almost ready to go here. Sweater off. Let's see if I can avoid doing something embarrassing. Alright, so now, got a little clever with this thing. I got it set so it's pretty close. And just slide it up, because I'm solo. So one thing I learned is I put it on my arm, lower it down, and then I slide it up instead of trying to make it tight. Okay, so I also learned that I was seeing some artifacts, and I realized it's because I'm pumping my own blood, my own cuff, and I have, I don't know, it's probably common, but when I move my right hand, you'll see that my left hand goes too. So when I'm squeezing my right hand, my left arm muscles are squeezing. So I have to try hard to keep my left arm relaxed. Okay, so let's take a look at the basics here and what this thing does. So I start recording. Oh, I'm already doing the, I have a way of cutting out inconvenient data. So yeah, you can see this really steep drop at the beginning because that's my left arm relaxing. So that's not actually very good. So that's the basics. One thing I've done though is I've set this to automatically start and stop in certain conditions, so I don't have to do too much data quality work on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the start and stop conditions just so you can see the steps we take to do data quality. Okay, so when you guys were to get this and start playing with it, you would see something like this now. So I'm going to get it really high, so that drop when I relax. There we go. And this thing will just go forever until I tell it to stop. So you see now, I know my blood pressure, I'm well below my diastolic, but you can still see it wiggling because my arm is still expanding a little bit. So remember we talked about that we want to do a little bit of data quality culling here, removing stuff, because we want to get the interpolation in this decay part. So anything here to the left would confuse the fit. So we could eliminate these points in excuse me, we could eliminate these points in the spreadsheet. But what we can do here is we can actually do it here in the data acquisition system. That's what this is, and it's cuff pressure. And I'm going to actually make this a little taller because I want it, because I noticed that precipitous drop. So now it says when the pressure goes above 190, it'll start taking data. And then I'm going to tell it that when it gets to, let's say, for me, 50 is probably good enough. But here it says 40. Okay. So now, watch what happens. Nothing is happening. You'll see along the y-axis, but the recorder won't start until the pressure gets up above 190. There we go. Yeah, and again, in my case, going down to 40 is not necessary, but it's a good general setting. And it stops, right? So really the only place I have to cut points out is up here where before it starts doing this nice decrease. And then we can also start zooming in. This thing doesn't have a good zoom feature, but you can see that the shape is there, and it changes as we go. So this is look at that, it's like very classic looking right there. But at the moment, that's not what we're going to investigate, but I'm just giving you a precursor. This won't get bigger than the paper size. And I don't know how to change the paper size. How do you change? This software is, we're stuck with it. It's Pasco. They make all these great instruments, but they charge huge amounts of money for everything. I'm working on producing our own lab equipment, and we don't have to be a slave to these people and be forced to pay their ridiculous prices. Okay, so let's do a study of sampling rate. So we have an idea, we know what the shape we're looking for. Let's get this back to 0, 0. So I had it set at 50 Hertz. So let's go down to a low sampling rate. So 5 Hertz, 2 Hertz. Well, let's just do 5 Hertz. That's pretty obvious. Oh yeah, I took my son's blood pressure the last time. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to try 5 Hertz. Let's see what it looks like. So that's 5 samples per second. It's not done yet. I moved my right hand, see, and my left hand flexed a little bit. Let's see if we can get this out of the way. Yeah. Alright, so you can see where it would be kind of difficult to swear that you saw the shape like this, right? So that's a low sampling rate. Let's try a modest sampling rate of 20 Hertz. So that's not so bad. The thing is, though, we're going to do a little study. We're going to see that it may not be as good as we think it is. Oh, I don't have to wait for it to stop. And let's see, we saw 50 Hertz. So this thing will actually go up to 100 Hertz. Now one thing though, there's a price to be paid. Whoops. When I went to 20 Hertz, and I didn't show you before, I have now 787 points. When I was at 5 Hertz, oh, it's not going to load. Oh, it deleted run. Ugh. Okay. Well, let's just do a quickie here. Let's put it back to 5 Hertz, just to give you a sense of it. So we'll let it go as low as the last one. So we're going 1/4 the sampling rate, so we should see about 1/4 the number of points to get the same amount of data. The same range, not the same amount. And in fact, that's what's happening. You'll notice I stopped it earlier about here. So the price is that you pay is that when you go to a higher sampling rate, you get a lot more points. So we had 700 and so many for 20 hertz. Let's take a look at 100 hertz. So we're already at we're about 1,500 points. And in fact, at this point, the little dots are too big. They're actually washing out some of the shape. And that's, I was saying earlier, in the beginning, when at the low sample rate, the size of the dots makes it look better. And at the high sample rate, we don't really see a lot of difference from, say, 20 to 40. Oh, did I want to do that? I think so, yeah. From 20 to 40 to 50 to 100. But we're going to now use the spreadsheet to learn something about digital sampling rate. So I have here a 10 hertz, a 20 hertz, a 50, and a 100. And you'll see, if you scroll down, see that I'm down to 50 milliliters of mercury with only 200 points. And as I go to higher and higher sampling rate, it takes more points to get to that same pressure. So now if I'm going to design a handheld blood pressure unit and I want to keep it cheap enough for people to buy, I don't want to have to put too much memory into it. So we need to decide which one of these sampling rates is good enough. And then how would we do that? So here's a little trick. I have nothing above row 1, and row 1 has all the names of the columns, because I don't want to get into having to do this, or at least I want to minimize how much I have to do that. So I can just simply select those two columns. Now I'm assuming everybody has this spreadsheet opened up. And you can do most all of this in Google Sheet, but you can't do the polynomial fit. And now we're going to insert a chart. And we want the one with the straight lines and markers. And again, we'll see that you already have them, but I would ask you please to delete those graphs that I made. You really should learn how to make them yourself. And so now we see this beautiful graph. But we need to do a little tweaking of it to really show what we want it to show. So When we have the graph highlighted, you'll notice up above changes. We have chart tools. It's the format tools that I usually access on the right sidebar, but you can access them here. And now I want to add an element. I want to add a legend. And this is an advantage that Excel, one of the many advantages that Excel has over Google Sheet. Now when it's highlighted, you can go up to this home menu and you can, like any other text, you can change the font size so we can see it better. And it shows you the line color and the dot color. Now, what we want to do is we want to format this data series. So what you do now, you get this highlighted, and you can go up here, I guess. Let me see. Oh, you can't see everything up here. Okay, so you just go double click in any place here, and now I've got this sidebar, and I want to format the 10 Hertz data series. So now it already says it has a line, but I'm going to, yeah, it's going to say when you have lots of points. I don't know. My computer doesn't mind. It's that I'm processing a lot of points. So in this case, I'm going to change it to, I want a contrasting color. It doesn't have to be red. And I want to make, let's say, make it 1 point. Now I want to work on the markers. I don't want to get rid of the markers, but I want to make them very small. So I want to make them, say, 2 or 1. So now you can sort of see the jagginess. And I can show you, it's not, at least I'm not aware of, there's not an easy way to zoom in. But let's say I want to look at this area here from 5 to 10 and 80 to 120. So I can go here, and I want to format the horizontal axis, the values, and go up here. There's all different options. We want the axis itself options. And we can just change it starts at 0, so we want it to go from 5, and we want it to go from 5 to, what did I say, 10? I forgot already. Well, we'll see. So there's our 5 to 10. Yeah, and we want it to go from 80 to 120. So we go to vertical value. Excuse me, 80 to 120, and now we're zoomed in. But you can still see that the lines help our eyes, but those lines are not data. They're just connecting the dots. If we were to eliminate the line, we really wouldn't see much of a shape at all. My dog is struggling over there. He's having trouble on the hardwood floor. He's getting old. So we can go back. Just hit reset, reset, and then reset, reset. So remember we said we want to do a little quality control too. So in this case we want to get rid of some of the points at the beginning. So you can just simply select them like this. And then right mouse click, delete. Oh, okay, so now it's, oh, what did no, I didn't, I only selected those cells. Okay. So rows, and wait a minute, I don't like that. What just happened? Yeah, it did the whole row. I don't want to do the whole row. I want to do just these. So let's see, delete. So I don't understand what's going on here. This is supposed to table, column, data, entire. So something is different here. Why? Normally it should just say, do you want to do the row or do you want to just shift cells? And it's not giving me this choice. Table, column, data. No. So that's interesting. I'm not sure what to do here. Alright, what about up here? Table, design. Oh, I think I know what's going on here. Piece of garbage. I think I know what's going on. I don't want this to be a table. I just want it to be a set of numbers. Let's think. Yeah, get rid of that. Hold on a minute here. This thing is betraying me. I don't want it to be a table at all. And that is too bad, huh? Why is it doing this? I thought I solved this issue about this thing not. I've never seen this before as table business. To me, a spreadsheet is all table. And okay, I don't want it to be a table. So let's. Is it? Yeah, this is not. Yeah, see, it doesn't show up at the top, the table. This didn't come up on Monday. I don't know why it's coming up now all of a sudden. How do I tell it that I don't want this to be a table anymore? Format as table. Ah. No. Where is none? Normal cells. Well, I think I understand now how to do the delete that I wanted to do. Just okay, let's give it a try. Well, first of all, you might want to change the number of. Here we go. The number of significant figures. Oh, something changed here, didn't it? So what you can do here now, you can format center center, wrap text. There we go. So let's see if we can do this. Here we go. Cells up here. We want to delete the cells. That's what we want. And okay, it's not going to. Oh, this is bad. So that wasn't happening the other day. Let's see if I can come up with a quick fix here. Okay. Yeah, it's not a question of not being prepared for class, because this didn't happen the other day, and I faced this last Sunday, and I thought I figured out. Okay, so if I cut all of it, and then I paste, it doesn't have a paste special, huh? Okay, then what if I do this? I'm just going to nuke it. And I'm going to delete these rows. How about that? Eat the whole business, huh? Yep, good. See that? So that's especially why you're going to need to. And then let's see. Oh, that I lost the data. I'm going to get it back because I thought this is pissing me off. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to make a new spreadsheet, new workbook, and I'm going to paste only the values. There we go. So now that is not a table. Alright, so I need to put this up for you guys. Because you won't be able to do the work without this. And blood pressure. And this we'll just call blood pressure data rate. So you won't even bother with copy pasting this. We'll just work with this spreadsheet, period. And I'll put it up on Canvas, but for the moment I'm going to send it to you guys via the chat window. Okay. Because it shouldn't be, yeah, it's only 60 kilobytes. Alright, network, oh, okay, give me a minute. Stupid thing. There it comes. Alright, there you go. So let's get this open, and let's get ourselves in gear here. What time is it? We should be able to get done. Okay, so get this open. And start from scratch. Yeah, what happens is the Pasco software, I export the data in a text file called a CSV. Yeah, Laura, you don't see it? It's okay. Hold on. I will also then. I might as well just bite the bullet and put it up on Canvas. No. Okay. Of course, it couldn't be easy, right? File. I don't know why now they have this new feature, create file. And it's not working. Come on, you piece of garbage. There it is. Data rate, yeah. And let's put that into CardioVascular. And there it is. I'll move it to the top of the module. So you should just be able to refresh your window in your browser, and it should show up. So as my mother would say, sing out if you can't get it. My mommy's always watching me here. Alright, so as I said before, one thing we can do, let's make row 1 bigger. So you see how the cursor changes when I go over to these divider lines. And I can select the whole row. And there's buttons here. I can center it vertically, center it horizontally, left to right, and then I wrap. Oh, so it's still need to make it a little bigger so it all shows up. There we go. And then I want to format all these numbers, so I can just go up here. Even though you would imagine it doesn't hurt the text to have this be part of it, and then I can change the number of decimal places. One thing you don't want to do, it's tempting, but I've done this before and it'll bite you in the butt later. You don't want to do something like this, because now these borders go down. It makes the spreadsheet become like infinitely large, because this goes down forever, and that can cause some weird shit later let down the road. So for God's sakes, don't do that. Don't do borders by selecting an entire row of columns. So let's get back to where we were. We can select those two. We can insert our graph, straight lines and markers. And then we want to format the data series again. We want to make the line, we're going to make it red in this case. Just want it to have a contrasting color to the points. So you notice we can't even see the lines because the points are too big. The markers. And then we want to make the markers very small. And now we can begin to see in between. And 1 is the smallest I can get it. And remember, we added a legend. There it is. So now we got our first one. And at the end of the day, this is really quite small. I have my screen zoomed in, so yours probably doesn't look. You probably see smaller numbers and smaller dots. So if we zoom this out to 100%, yeah, now you can see it's quite small. And now this is hopefully what you guys are looking at. So now, let's see if we can do this data quality. And we say delete. Yeah, there we go. And it's going to say, I want to shift cells up. And then you say, well, maybe I took away too much. No, that looks okay. I can use the back and forth to tell me. So I'm happy with that. So now we need to add more, because we want to get all 4 of these on here. So I just want to look at this for a sec. Okay. So yeah, there's no way to avoid this pull down. So this is the cuff pressure at 20 hertz sampling rate. And now we have to select all these X values. So this is tedious, but as you pull down, it'll accelerate. And now in Excel 2019, it's got this new feature where it slows down when you get near to the end. It used to, like, once it got past there, it would go like crazy fast. But I guess enough people complained. And then we just can start down here to get the Y values. Although we worked out a little trick on Monday, I'll show you. And just make sure you don't select E1. And there's our other data set. So now we have to do the same thing. We have to now go and let's see, we want a contrasting line color, so it seems like blue would work. And we want to get the line size down to at least 1 point. And now there's the marker. And let's bring that down. Okay. So now your job now is to get all of these guys on here and then clean this up, give it a title, give it axis title. So make sure you write this down, and I'll put it in an assignment for a checkpoint assignment. And you need these for your report, these graphs. I'm making a note to myself. So you want to get all 4 of them on there, and then let me show you another little trick. So take this one, and I'm just going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it. But this one, I'm going to do a zoom. So that would be the vertical axis, right? So we want, looks like for the purpose of our 80 and 120 looks good, but we don't know yet until we get all 4 of them on there. But just to show you some tips to make better use of Excel. Oh yeah, I have to hit enter. And now I want to go, let's see, in this case I want to go from, say, 5 to 10. Yeah, it looks like it'll work. Horizontal value. And so 5 to 10. So now you can see how, even with straight lines drawn between the points, I can see our characteristic shape much better. So your job again is to first get all 4 data sets on here, format them nicely so you have a contrasting line color, and contrast it with a line color that contrasts with the color of the point. And you would probably want to minimize the point size and minimize the size of the line, because you're trying to be able to see differences between these things. And then say, well, we have to balance the 2 competing priorities. One of them is see the line shape and the other one is minimize the amount of data taking. So what you would do is you get all four of these on there, and then make your zoom in, make a copy when they're all four, and then something like take the characteristic shape that we showed you earlier and say, well, here I think I can see it better. I can see it better here, and of course at 100 hertz I can see it excellently, but maybe 50 hertz is good enough, and you need to say why you think 50 hertz or 20 hertz is good enough. Just make sure you're writing it down. Yeah, I mean, you can really see it here. There's so much more detail. You would have said with the 10 hertz data, you might have said, all right, I've already hit the diastolic. But now when I look at the 20 hertz, I'm going, well, you know what? I'm still seeing this shape pretty nicely, so I'm not entirely positive that I'm seeing the diastolic just yet. Okay, 12:30. We're doing fine with time, I think.